everybody, welcome to the Open Review Show, and this is all about CarX Highway Racing Games Review. Here we do open reviews of most of the games that have been released or that are currently being played by every player around the world on your Android or iOS phone or wherever. Today we're going to do CarX Racing Highway. CarX Racing Highway was just released very long back, but I decided let's do a fair bit review for this one because anyways it's going to be a racing game and we love racing games here. So CarX Highway Racing all focuses on highway racing, and yes, for the most of the predominant it does focus on point-to-point racing along with a little bit of challenges with different kinds of gameplay modes thrown into the mix. About the physics, first of all, the physics are very good. I mean, there's no downforce, but that's okay because all handling is based on how much lateral G's your car can pull, and that's really good to offer because what more can you ask from a highway racing game when you're not playing circuit racing? The highway racing is the main predominance here, and you can see the physics in motion action because most of them will result in terrible jumps, and there you go. That's one thing that you need to mainly focus on. As for the gameplay modes itself, well, there are a plethora of gameplay modes, to be honest. You even have a story mode where you will focus on having both. You play as a cop and you play as a normal racer, as well as you play as a racer to hunt down rival gangs. And that is one thing that you need to look on for because the story is very exciting. You get engaged in a thrilling story where you don't know what happens next. And they've really done a good story mode here. So credit to the story team for actually doing such a good story, taking across all locations. Be it Australia or even Paris or even the Great Americas. You have a great story bundle within your own self, and the gameplay, the mechanics will keep you closely engaged as to what the next chapter will be focusing on. The graphics on the other hand are very good compared to a game that is quite old for its time. And there are good lighting effects, but there are no lighting effects, that's for sure. And as for the sound, they are very similar to the real life counterpart is. Although the cars are not licensed, the sound of course is very close. I find one gameplay mechanic uninteresting, and that is it automatically brakes whenever you see a car coming onto you. When I swerve a little bit more towards the left, the car automatically brakes me, and this is the only feature that I didn't find wrong. Overall, everything else is good. And now it's time for you to have a listen to the sound. The overall sound is very good as compared to everything else, since because you can actually, they've almost replicated the stuff that you can see. They almost replicated the stuff that happens in real life cars. As for the display and graphics, well, they're actually good. Even though there is no ray tracing, you can't ask for everything in almost all racing games, but it's technically the ray trace. The effects of the graphics are very good, and even the shadows for somewhat are very good in this game. And that's the auto braking I mentioned earlier before they play the sound, and this is predominantly a problem when you drive in high speed situations. It happens for almost all the cars, and there's no talking about it. That leaves us to the car selection, I believe, which is actually predominant. Now about the cars, well, you have a lot of cars in the game. There are probably 6 or 5 or even 7 in each category. 6 classes divided up. And for the majority of the cars, you can always upgrade as usual. Although a few of the cars can be purchased with in-game currency, the rest must purchase via in-game second currency, the auxiliary currency to be used in case of anything shortfalls. Class 5 and 6 cars are mainly acquired through special events. Maybe even 3 or 4 cars can be occupied as well. And that leaves us to a question. And it's only after this where the car customization goes wrong. On some cars you can only customize the color and of course the wheels. whereas the body kits are missing. So I think the team didn't do anything there. You can somehow. Some cars you can't customize because they don't have a bodywork or even bodywork features. Some cars can only have paint, whereas the car that you're seeing right now can have bodywork features. Although these bodywork features won't give you any increase or upgrade in the game for the cars themselves. Each of the cars is very important, and you need to know which car. You need to pick wisely which car you need to select, because later chapters, you need to pick a car that actually is recommended by the chapter itself. It will lead class 5 and 6. The upgrades are heavy, and of course, sometimes they are easily attainable through cash, but you need to have at least a lot of cash to make sure you have enough upgrades. There are special events in the game, but I tell you, these special events are very, very easy, unless the car is very slow or even hard to upgrade. They can be completed in around 7 days, or even 6 days if you can wish. All of them follow different types of gameplay modes. They have 7 or 5 days, and they have races in between. You can fill the ticket tokens as usual, and they're actually very handy. These cars can be attainable very easily through these events, so you should have a good chance at buying up these cars instead of buying them with original currencies, or should I say winning these cars in this special event itself. Overall about the special events is very easy. I don't need to talk about a lot of them. You can easily attain the cars, and of course there are very less goals as to compare to everything else. As for the multiplayer, well, I did try to play. Unfortunately, it requires to log into Facebook, but when I wanted to see the rankings, it crashed. So I need to make sure they actually fix the multiplayer and all this. Time for the verdict of the game. Well, you've got an all-in-all package, nicely bundled with good customization and of course good physics. Sound design is also well done. The graphics, however, are a bit dated for this game, so they might be able to release a version 2. We're not sure. But overall the game is good. It's a must try and a good play for every racing gamer. And see you guys in the next video.